Hurricane Matthew is no joke. It's important for us to remain calm and alert. Stay tuned to your radio stations or call 116 for the latest weather updates. I'm Adrian at Kingston and this is Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us. Teamwork is critical for survival, even to weather a storm. Friends and relatives and even neighbors are needed to ensure safety. We live on an island, but no man is an island. Next, an important discussion on teamwork.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk to behavior modification coach, columnist, CEO, Trevor Smith. We're going to be talking about issues to do with building a success mindset and the importance of this to national development. It's a kind of program that you will like. It will give you the kinds of tips that will make a difference in your everyday life. We thank you so much for your company. Trevor, good to have you, back. The last time we spoke, we said we would pick up on this matter of teamwork. Why is teamwork so important? Why is collaboration so important if we are to succeed as organizations and as a nation?
Well, the corny thing is that together each achieves more, So we all know that. But let us Olympics are, just passed. So let us use that as an example. Where the Japanese in the 4x4, 4x100 relay, none of the Japanese, were outstanding, had wonderful records in terms of sub-10s, etc. Yet still they got the silver medal. What is it about them that caused them to succeed? And I want to look at some of the issues. One of the things was that the US is guilty of it a lot, in that the pace at which you run in the zone to hand over the baton, that needs to be carefully calibrated. If the incoming runner goes too quickly, then they're going to butt up on the outgoing one. If they go too slowly, they're going to run out of the box. So you therefore need to assess the relative capability of the members. And that's one of the lessons that we need to take, is that we should respect, understand what it is that our team members can do. Sometimes we're expecting people to do more than they can do. We're not working with people where they are, we're working with people where we expect them to be, and they are not always there. And so that is part of the problem that we have, when expectations are different. Sometimes we overrun people because we're giving them stuff that they just can't do. All right, so that's one of the things. But that assessment of capability is not sterile, in the sense that if at the end of the day you're not able to deliver what you're supposed to deliver, then somebody needs also to say to you, Ian, you're not cutting it. So that is important, that we assess the capabilities, relative capabilities, and calibrate. So if we are working together, and you might have a challenge, maybe you're new to this, and I need to build you up. So we need to have that give and take and understanding together. But that then brings trust into play. And we are currently in a low trust environment in Jamaica, and that's part of the problem that we have with the teamwork. Is that I'm not sure whether you're undermining me. I'm not sure that I can rely on you, because that's the other thing. One of the things with the baton is that you need to reach, and you need not to be looking. You have to understand at a certain point in time, you reach, and you expect the person to place the baton there. Now, if that individual doesn't do that, we have a problem. But your role can't be to be looking and wondering, etc. So there needs to be a trust factor involved where we expect certain things. We believe that as a team we are going to achieve this, that you are going to do your part, I'm going to do my part, and it's going to happen. That's critical to teamwork. But again, when people are suspicious, when people bring a lot of baggage into the organization, why did you get the promotion, why didn't I? All of those things, believe me, I'm doing a lot of work with teams, and it's critical. It just
really suffocate.
It just kills the spirit, because there still needs to be an assurance that when I reach, I must feel something in my hand.
We'll be there. When we come back, I want to deal with how we can remove those obstacles. We're talking about some crucial issues to do with working together as teams and working together as a country. Behavior modification coach Trevor Smith is with us. We take a short break, but we'll be right back.
I remember when I didn't like school and Mommy used to have to wake me up. Tabla, hurry up. You're going to be late for school.
Hey, now that I have a tablet, you don't need to wake me up. Since Mommy and Daddy bought me a tablet, I use my tablet for all kinds of cool stuff. I use my tablet to read books. I use my tablet to learn about history and science. I use my tablet to help with my homework. I even use it to talk to my daddy at work. Hello, Daddy!
Learning is easy and fun with a tablet. Take care of your tablet, use it wisely.
How to build teams, how to have the kind of mindset that is geared towards success. These are some of the issues we're looking at on Issues and Answers. So how do we work around the egos? How do we work around people's insecurities at the workplace? Because if we don't, productivity is going to be affected.
It is.
Profitability is going to be affected. Trevor, you work with companies, work to help them to be high-performing companies. So you deal with that. You have some people in organizations that, well, it's hard to love, but we have to work with them.
One fundamental issue, I believe, is a communication gap, in the sense that what I talk about is speaking the language of behaviors, in that there's a fundamental misunderstanding of what is being said. Between, for example, persons who are dominant. Very, very, very often they are misunderstood. That people just don't understand that communication. So it's like if you have a preference for what we call the dominant lifestyle, your communication is like speaking Russian to somebody who is speaking Japanese. And so one of the things that we try to do is to help people to understand the different languages, the different behavioral languages, which would be like dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. So people speak different languages. Little things like how you come across. You come across maybe too confident, too pushy, too whatever it is. And people shut down. They just don't understand it. What we have to understand, though, is that it's just a way of communicating. It's not, it doesn't mean anything more, it doesn't mean, and so the fact that I raise my voice doesn't mean that I want to offend you or whatever. I just want to be emphatic. I just want to whatever it is. However, for somebody who uses the S style, you know, the steadiness, supportiveness, you know, milk of human kindness, whatever it is, shouting is equivalent to boxing.
That's
You know,
true.
it's a slap in the
Yes.
face. Respectable people don't shout.
Yes.
And so basically, once you're shouting, it's like
Yes,
I'm not
it's
hearing.
really
I'm not hearing
off-putting.
anymore. So some of these things, some fundamental things like this, the questioning, the doubting that comes from the
So we have to
compliance
try to
wanted.
understand one another better then, eh?
That's what we try to do. We use the
Just
language.
understand.
We use the language to say it is not that Ian is a terrible person.
Yes.
It is just that he speaks a different language. And if
Yes.
you understand his language, or try to get to a point where you understand his language, you'll just come to a better understanding. I don't know if we have 10 seconds, but let me just give you a quick instance. We are in a meeting. I come out and I say to you, Ian, you know, something you said in the meeting kind of offended me. And you say, sorry, Trevor, I didn't mean anything. I'm sorry. And I say, yes, Ian, I hear you, but why did you say it? And you say to me, Trevor, yeah, I'm sorry. And I said, but Ian, why? And I said, Trevor, I'm going to say sorry. You understand what I'm saying? Because basically you don't have that patience, etc., to explain. Now, if I understood your language, I would know that when you said I'm sorry, I must take that and accept it. You know, but me, from if I'm using an S style, I'm going to be saying, oh no, but I need to understand it, and Ian needs to understand why, so that it doesn't happen again. It's that different dynamic.
Yes.
And if you start to understand,
We don't have the patience, Trevor. We don't have the patience to be psychologizing people, man, and all that.
it's
kind
an
of
easy
thing,
language to learn, though, you know.
The easy language.
People understand you. If I give you an example of dominance, you know it. If I give you an example of somebody who is always questioning, always doubting, you know it. People know it. If you can pick up the style easily. So what we want to do is to emphasize to people now that learn the behavior. Understand that when you're dealing with people, they're going to communicate in a particular style, and try to understand the underpinning of that style. Don't link it to the person. Look, you know, don't think that they are wicked or bad or hard or difficult. Just understand that this is their worldview. This is how they perceive the world. This is how they want the world to run. And you are doing the same thing.
Professor Agri Brown used to teach us at UA at Caenwood that communication is not just the dissemination of information.
Absolutely.
Transference of meaning.
Absolutely.
I use one where I mean one thing, but by the time that reaches you,
Yep.
totally different meaning.
A simple word like just, you know, with the D style. When I say just do that, it sounds like a command.
Yes.
And I'm no.
Just do it.
Why should I just do
We
that?
will resist that.
You know, so there are certain words that are trigger words, and you just need to understand as you go through that there's a way to communicate across the styles that makes life easier.
Yes.
But it requires, as you say, some patience.
And you would say in the final few seconds that these soft skills are very important.
I don't want to call them
national
soft skills
development.
anymore because they are fundamental core skills. If we
Fundamental
had these
core
core
skills.
skills, we would have a far more progressive society, we'd have less violence. Even in the household, we have problems with these things.
Of course.
Where people can't even communicate.
Absolutely right. And a part of the
Somebody would kill somebody over a bar of soap.
Absolutely. So domestic murders constitute a high
absolutely.
proportion of the murders that we have. It's not just
Absolutely.
a lot of scamming.
Absolutely.
People can't resolve issues. People can't resolve conflicts in churches, in the business place, and in political parties. So these principles are important. We're not wasting time on issues and answers. Trevor Smith, beaver modification coach, is our guest today and has been talking to us about crucial issues. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
So this is Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, 9-time Olympic champion. I just want to say, big up Jamaica Magazine.
Often, if there's increased rainfall, there's a multiplication of mosquito breeding sites. Let's search our homes and premises for these pesky insects.
Mosquitoes are undoubtedly annoying, with their irritating sound and stinging bites. But there are more compelling reasons we'd rather not have them around. Several species are carriers of diseases and a threat to human health. Of most significance to Jamaica is the Aedes aegypti mosquito, known to transmit dengue fever, chikungunya, yellow fever, and the Zika virus. Only female mosquitoes bite, doing so to get the blood they need for egg production. And therefore, only female mosquitoes transmit these viruses.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is what we call a timid feeder. So she's easily disturbed when feeding. It means that in one night, she may feed on several persons before she takes her complete blood meal. Each time she feeds, she secretes that substance. And in the secretion of the substance, the pathogen is passed on. So in one night, one female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to infect more than one person.
The female Aedes aegypti mosquito is a prolific breeder.
One female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to lay up to 200 eggs each time she lays her eggs. So one mosquito can populate an entire area.
The lifespan of the mosquito is around 3 weeks, and the entire cycle from egg to adult can occur in as little as 7 to 8 days. Female mosquitoes are ready to mate within a few hours after reaching their adult stage, and males are usually ready within 24 hours.
This mosquito prefers cleaner waters. For the female mosquitoes, she will lay her eggs in water, and for the Aedes, it will be water which is in and around the household.
So while there are a number of things we can and should do to prevent being bitten, the most effective way to prevent the spread of diseases by these mosquitoes is to prevent their breeding.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is a mosquito that breeds in a containerized environment. They do not breed in rivers and drains, but they breed in containers that can be found in and around where persons dwell. So come with us and let us show you some of those breeding sites. This is a typical dish drainer that we find in most homes. And under most dish drainer is a tray that collects the water that comes off the dishes. And believe it or not, we have found breeding in several homes in these dish drainers. Yes. You can see that we have water that has settled. If this water does not evaporate quickly, it can lend itself to the breeding of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So you not only have to empty the dish drainer, but you have to scrub to remove those eggs. This is the typical saucer that we will find under a plant. The rain has recently fallen, it has collected water, and right now it is steaming with the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Do you have some of these in your home? Aedes aegypti prefers water that is a little bit on the cleaner side, and it's found in a shaded environment. So what should we do with something like this? It's quite simple. You need to throw away the water. And if these containers are not being used, you have to keep them turned down so they're not able to collect water. If you have them under your plants, we ask that you bore holes in them so that it will not collect water. Do you have these in your homes? We find these in a lot of hotels and business places. And we ask those persons, check these bird baths or any ornamental things like these you have in your garden to ensure that they're not breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito. There are things like this thrown down in person's backyard. Old equipment, old furniture, old fixtures that are taken from homes, especially during construction. These are also able to hold water. And if they're holding water and sit for a while in the environment, they will also breed mosquitoes. And so we have found breeding in wheelbarrows, in old refrigerator, in old sinks such as this one. And we ask persons, if you're throwing out these, please ensure that they are positioned in such a way that they will not collect water.
Many persons, when they do have their drums, most times drums do not have any covers. So there is a mesh cover which is so designed to replace the missing covers. It is lightweight, and what we do is just simply slip it over, and the mesh is so designed mosquitoes will not be able to go through this mesh to get to the water. So this is the ideal way. One of the benefits also of this mesh is that even when rain does fall, water will go right through it. This is a typical example where this we have is a plastic drum and we have a metal cover here which is not designed for this. Whilst in some practice the intent is good, there may be occasions in which it does not fit or sit properly, and as a result you still have openings where mosquitoes can go right through and breed.
The mosquito is breeding right there in some very small places right around where you live. What is the habit we want you to develop? Once every week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Hurricane preparedness is key. Secure clean water. It's critical to surviving a hurricane. Water can be purified by boiling or adding small amounts of bleach. Whether it may be drums, buckets or bottles, ensure that the containers are clean. Persons with chronic illnesses such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases and asthma must ensure that their medication is easily accessible, especially in the event of the need for a quick evacuation. Pregnant women, especially those within 1 month of their delivery date, must identify close relatives or friends who are in proximity to a hospital just in case it becomes necessary to relocate. Jamaicans, we are champions who are capable of weathering any storm or hurricane as long as we are prepared and work together.
The steam in every paper, ants in every classroom, I believe. Oh, priests in all the churches, God in all our homes, I believe. It's time to claim my nation and start the Reformation, I believe. I believe that we can make a change and spread a gleam of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe that we can make a change and spread a gleam of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe. I
Here's a dose of inspiration for the week. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Head over to our website at jis.gov.jm. It's your source of information on Hurricane Matthew. To watch this program again, click on our YouTube channel. You may also check out our other social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Please be careful.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.